In this lesson, we're going to learn how to change directions at the piano without ever stopping. Let's take a look. Just as there are 3 dimensions in space, there are 3 dimensions at the piano. Let's take a look. All right, we have up and down. We've got left and right. We've got forward and back. And we also have 3 rotations, right? We've got this kind of rotation. We've got this kind of rotation. And we've got this kind of rotation. So, let's say we wanted to change direction in one of these 3 dimensions, right? Let's take a look at how we might do that. So, let's say we wanted to change direction from up to down. So one way to do this would be to go up, stop, and then just reverse the direction, right? Down, stop, up, stop, down, stop. Likewise, you go left, stop, right, stop, left, stop, right, stop. Or forward, stop, back, stop, forward, stop, back, stop. Right? Now, the problem with this approach to changing direction is this: you have to stop in order to turn around. Right? This is a real big problem, and let's illustrate why this is so. Right? In fact, let's go ahead and kind of get your hands out in front of you. Right? Pretend you're playing something, and then stop. Don't move. Ah! Right? So let's ask ourselves now, does stopping feel good? No, not in the least, right? Does stopping feel musical? Again, the answer is an emphatic no. This does not feel musical at all, right? Of course not. And the reason of this is because stopping creates at least 2 problems. At first, stopping invites muscle tension to set in almost immediately. And the second problem is this: stopping interrupts the physical continuity of the music. So, the way I like to look at this is as a problem that needs to be solved. So what's the problem to solve? How do we change direction at the piano without stopping? Well, there's a way to do that. Let's take a look. So the solution to the problem of how to change direction without stopping is something I like to call circular playing. So let's get some experience with this so you know what I'm talking about. So a very large scale example of this would be a conductor conducting an orchestra. So let's start by being a start-stop conductor and see what happens, right? So let's get our hands out in front of us, right? Let's say we're conducting the orchestra. Well, we can go like this. We can go conduct, 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 start, stop, start, stop, start, right? Now, if you don't see this as stiff and awkward, we have work to do, right? Of course there's a better way than this. So let's conduct the same orchestra now, right? Instead of stiff and awkward, right? Let's conduct with big, round, and flowing movements, right? Now notice what's happening here. It's like, look, I'm changing direction, right? Look it. I'm going right, left, up, down, forward, back, and I'm never stopping, right? There's never need to stop, right? The key to success here is always flowing curves, never abrupt changes of direction, right? So watch as we conduct like this. There's not even a stop for even the microsecond, right? And by the way, if you play music like this, there's going to be no tear in the musical fabric. But if you play music like this, your musical canvas is just going to be full of tears and rips, right? So, now that we have kind of a macro scale feel for what we mean by circular playing, let's go to the piano and take a look at some musical examples. So let's apply circular playing to playing 5 notes in a row, up and down and up and down again. Let's see what happens. So, before we do this in a circular manner, let's do it in, unfortunately, the way most people play these 5 notes in a row, right? With a very stiff wrist, all fingers, right? Almost no motion at all, almost all fingers. So let's lock everything in place. So we're going to go up. And you notice we're stopping. In fact, not only we're stopping on the ends, we're stopping between each note, right? Play, stop, 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 play, stop. Now, you could train your fingers to execute this and make some incremental improvements over a lifetime, but I'm here to tell you right now, this is not the way to play these 5 notes. Here's the right way to play these. Circular playing. And by the way, I'm going to exaggerate this a little bit. You really don't need hardly any motion at all to make this free and easy, but yeah. Let's take another look, right? You notice I'm never stopping. I'm not stopping on the ends. I'm not stopping in any of the notes in the middle. Arm, hand, fingers, everything is in constant motion. No part of my body ever stands still. Now, I wish I could communicate what this feels like and just insert this into your mind, right? But I can't. This is something that's going to require you to sit down and experiment yourself. But the guidance is this. You know you're on the right track when things feel easy and free, completely absent of awkwardness or tension. In other words, if you do this right, you're not even going to have to try. It'll feel absolutely natural. Now let's apply circular playing to the opening few chords of Moonlight Sonata and see what happens. So first, I'm going to play this old school, meaning the finger strength and dexterity school, which means starting and stopping between each note. Let's see what happens. And by the way, I'm not going to intentionally try and ruin this rendition. I'm going to do my level best using the old school technique. Ready? And so on, right? Got all the notes right. I think I got the notes right. Was it musical? Was it artistic? Did it feel good? We can do better. Circular playing. We're going to liberate our interpretation by allowing our body to play this without constraint. Ready? Let's go. so on, right? So let's take a closer look at what's going on here. Right? First, notice, nothing stopped. My fingers, my hands, my arms are in constant motion. Nothing is rigid. Everything is flowing, right? And not just willy-nilly, it's flowing in response to the locations of the notes on the piano keyboard and the timing of those notes. Right? There's nothing haphazard here. It's all a very natural process. Right? Now notice another thing. Even my left hand does not start and stop. Watch, it's in motion. Right, so this gives you the idea. So wasn't that much more musical? Right, not only did it look musical and feel musical physically, right? It sounded musical. And even most importantly, it felt musical in an emotional sense, right? So incorporate circular playing into all your music making and enjoy the results.